We back. Oh man, yeah, it's time to go scorched earth, man. It's been what, 3 weeks?
3 weeks. Hey,
Three.
so how's what's the word on the potential strike with you guys?
So a lot of people are saying it's in the works now. The way that I've been seeing the economy go with the shop is that it's been slow for a bit,
Okay.
and they had to just let go one person. So I'm just like, yeah, that's not good. That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, if that happens, the people that are they so you know how in unions, and I know some people shouldn't talk down the unions, but you got those types of people that just don't like to work, and
Yeah.
or they got tenure, so you can't get rid of them. Even
Yeah.
if you wanted to, they got tenure, so you cannot get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's like the first year guys, you can have the potential. If they don't like you that much, they'll get rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not getting rid of me. Um, even if they wanted to. I'm just
Okay.
like, who's gonna go state to state, huh? Who's gonna go
Right.
state to state doing everything, huh? Not them. It's gonna be me. All right. So I think I got you in that chokehold real quick. So but currently I see like with all the audio builders that I deal with and all that other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
spots have been limited,
Okay.
so there could be a potential strike. There has been actually a strike at the Atlantic Theater. Now, if you know the Atlantic Theater, yeah, the Atlantic Theater in Manhattan, they're going through a collective bargaining agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening right now is that they've been freelance for like years, right?
Okay.
And so they're saying that, hey, we're gonna, you know, raise the stakes here. We're gonna cut all shows for now and all that other stuff. We're gonna go on strike until the people of the Atlantic Theater come to the bargaining agreement table. And because again, there are a bunch of theaters in New York right now that are suffering,
Okay.
and nobody, and it's a silent talk. Like everyone's like, oh, Broadway's doing well. Broadway, yeah, for now. But with if this congestion pricing still goes on,
Mm-hmm.
which it will, it's gonna hurt Broadway more than it's gonna help it. Because who's gonna like? Let's be clear here. Who's gonna pay these prices? Who's gonna pay $3 in MTA? Who's gonna pay 9, 12, $16 in MTA and not MTA and congestion fees to go to Manhattan to see a show when you
Mm-hmm.
could just go to another city and see it there?
Right.
And like I said, the future, and I'm learning this every day. The future is going to be going on tour. The future is going to be you going out of state. The
Mm-hmm.
future is going to be you finding a team and going out of state.
Mm-hmm.
Your future is going to also be, in which I'm getting into, 3D printing.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I'm learning at my shop is that a lot of people need parts that usually are not manufactured by companies anymore. So what do we usually do? We take the blueprints that usually most companies don't discontinue, and we make them via 3D printer with filament and all the other material. So that's what I started learning. I started, doing. I started learning about 3D printing, how to do because I used to do CNC machinery work. So I made stuff from CNC machines. Um, what I'm learning with 3D printing is, just how to make your model, how to, you know, measure out your model, the scale of your model, how to like it's more than just CNC, but the future of, I guess, like theater or just building in general is going to be 3D printing, because a lot of people now are using 3D printers. If you've ever, like, most material now or most things now are made out of 3D printers now.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because steel, copper, all that's going to be expensive. And with all these tariffs going on, like 3D printing is going to be the next best thing, right? I wouldn't be too surprised if certain car parts will be made out of I don't know, filament in the next few years because of how shit's going. You
Right.
know, I would not be too surprised. But I'm looking into investing in a bamboo lab, so I'm gonna get the I think the A1 first before I get because at the shop, my supervisor, he has like the professional one, like the real big one, and that shit, like, it works like a dream, man. I love watching the 3D printer go. I like
Okay.
learning the Fusion 360. So I'm also learning about that. On top of that, I got I got band stuff going on. I got a guitarist I'm talking to in Texas right now, and he's got a band that he's trying to put up. And then on top of that, my band here in Jersey just got into Hype Fest. We're trying to get into Earth Fest in Philly. We're trying to get into a different types of festivals for the summer. I got gigs that are coming up out of state, so I'm coming to a state near you. That means you, Club Fortune. I know you in here. Okay, I know Club. I'll be in your neck of the woods soon. But that's beside the point. Yeah, I got a lot going on. But I mean, going back to what you were saying about the strikes, the impending strikes, we shall see. If the slow season goes beyond March,
Mhm.
there's room for concern,
Okay.
and that's in New York. I don't know. I hear Texas is still doing well, so I'm not staying in New York as much. Like I got like again, I think a lot of stagehands get comfortable with New York making their New York millions and all that other stuff because there's a bunch of guys up in Schubert organization that make tons more money than I do,
Mhm.
and they're comfortable. Versus like me, where I know like, all right, I got my local one, but I also got to go to other states and do just that. But I also could be like ACT. Like an ACT is like you're a roadie, right? So you
Mm.
have no union, but that union's kind of wishy-washy. You have to complete like 30 shows within a span of like a few months and all that other stuff. If you, and again, it's who you know. And I
Okay.
know a bunch of people that are in ACT, but
Okay.
it's like you know, it's it's kind of I could and I would, and I actually will. It's like baby steps. I gotta do it in baby steps.
Good
That,
deal. Good
that's
deal.
that's how it's got to be. But you know, it's according. I mean, but like, again, like I see all these, strikes are happening. A lot of people are getting laid off. I mean, the layoffs. I mean, oof, it's gonna be a long 3 years. I can only tell you that, man.
Yeah.
I say, look and listen, man. Skill up, buckle up, because it's gonna be a long one.
Yeah. True that. True. True.
That's
True.
all I can tell you. Because I mean, bunch of I saw the interviews today about some dude who was like, I voted for Trump and I got a government job and that got cut. I was like, oh, so it's not just DEI anymore. It's not just DEI anymore.
It's not. Listen, I'm the first to say government bloat is real, and government over expenditure is real. I'm the first to say it, but not like you don't go about it like this. You like I said, you're gonna have us tied up in federal lawsuits for the next 10 years, man. You
Oh
know.
yeah. Oh
So
dude, it's gonna be a. And guess what? Guess who's gonna be footing the bill?
yeah, that's taxpayers, of course.
Oh yeah, the taxpayers are gonna foot the bill. I'm like, listen, 5Gs, I'll take it, but
See,
I don't
okay,
know.
I was talking with Todd City with this. I said if they're offering five, you can give out 10 or 15. I wouldn't take five because that means you can give me 10 or 15. You just giving me shekels at this point. Like you're
I
playing
know,
with
right?
me, you know.
Yes, it's like 5Gs. I mean, that's just gonna be gone in within a week.
That's not.
You
Yeah, it's
know,
not gonna change. That's not gonna get anybody out of debt. No, no, not, it's not gonna make a real dent in your bills. Not like that. No, no.
I mean, the first thing would be to start paying off the debt in which we already have.
Yeah,
The national debt's in the trillions. Like,
that's
how are you gonna
that's
pay that off?
yeah, that's not going anywhere. So that
That's
if
not
they,
going on. I mean,
yeah, if they were trying to get rid of that, they would have been figured it. Yeah,
dude. I
yeah.
mean, like I said, America's broke, dude. Like, giving out money that we don't even have. Like, where are you getting this money from? You're just printing it. So no wonder the dollar bill doesn't, have the fortitude anymore. But that's beside the point. That's beside all the points. Now, man, the Manosphere revisionist history. We're
Let's
gonna
get
save
to it.
that one.
Let's get to it.
Let's save that one for last, because you know
Okay, okay,
what?
okay, okay. Fair
Let's,
enough.
let's get to the Eric July. The Eric July. Did we call it or did we not? Did we call it or did we not?
We did. We did.
We
We
did call
did.
it, right? And I
Yeah.
and I and I knew this. I knew this was gonna happen a long time ago. All right. Now, you can say that it's probably Trump. and everybody getting emboldened, which is why I said, I listen. I love my peace enough to say, listen. There are certain people, there are certain factions that I will listen to when it comes to politics. And I'll listen to everybody. I don't care who it is, left, right, indifferent. I listen, but then there is a point in time where I say I turn it off. You know, like I don't think about it. Yeah, I'm gone. All right. I don't want to get into the debates. I don't want to debate you. I don't want to do nothing.
Mhm.
All right. Now, when it comes to Eric July, it's getting bad. Okay. And for all those black, the urban people that are in those sanctions with the nerds talking about, the culture war and all that other stuff, get out. Get out, because it's gonna get worse. Don't look at me when they start saying certain things, because they've been like, you got Ethan Van Sciver playing like AI generated songs, like nah, this dude's emboldened. If he were to say certain things that he really wants to say, he would say it.
Mhm. Well,
And then he'll backtrack and say, well, I love all people, enough to say what he really wants to say.
let me ask you. So he just launched ISOM 3 campaign, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think the numbers will be?
Not that it's not going to be big.
Do you think he makes $1 million off this?
No.
Really?
There's no way. Unless if he gets certain backers to give him the money, then I see him making $1 million.
Okay.
But aside from, like the stuff that's been happening with his company now, and then him hiring Gothics, it's like, well, how much money do you like who's really repping the Rippaverse? Because you don't hear Nerdrotics. You don't hear the Nerdrotics. You don't hear what's his name? The Tyrone Magnuses of the world. You don't hear them. Like, they will pull out Eric July when it benefits them, right? They will only, and you see this.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not joking. Like, they will only pull out ISOM when it benefits them. They're not
Yeah.
reading this. Like, who's really out here repping? Who's really out here repping the Rippaverse, except for young Ripper sycophants?
Well,
Really, seriously.
and it goes back to the one of our very early conversations we had. He never, from my vantage point, never reached out to urban content creators and put them under his wing. And I said that's going to be a problem, because once they're done with him, they can't squeeze anything else out of him. He'll come back and say, "Hey, I need y'all help," and they're going to be like, "Well, no, because we had a chance to kind of scoop us up and put us under your wing and help propel and prop up your endeavors. You didn't reach out."
I mean, again, because he's not gonna say anything about it. No one's gonna the urban content creators who like to, they say they don't cater to a white audience, but we all know that they do.
Right.
They're not gonna say that it's a, how do we put this? It's like a dog eat dog sort of situation,
Mhm.
where it's like not even a dog eat dog, like a Highland situation. There can be only one,
Mhm.
right? Who's gonna be the biggest token black dude or the biggest token black woman to a bunch of to a bunch of white people? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna juck and jive? Who's gonna juck and jive for them? You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I hate it, but you're right. I hate it, but you're right.
Like, because now I'm seeing these content creators now. It's not even just like talking about the black community, like topics that we have covered like years ago, talking about how like the urban youth, hip hop music, all this stuff, sexy red, like nobody, like all these topics now is, to me, I'm just like, okay, there's a point of talking about it, and then there's a
Hmm.
point of doing something about it.
Hmm.
It's all talk for some people. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And you know what? Shout out to Fail J. Fail J is in the building. Shout out to you, man. Because you and I mean, look, listen, I'm still in Hypnotics chat. I just don't go there. But last time I checked, when I was over there, his fucking, like, his chat is like in bold and in like 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 N word this, S word that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like,
What?
God, man, I'm not even on Twitter and y'all just like off the wall.
It's funny. I was in somebody's comic chat. It just popped up random, and there were like 600 people in there, and I'm chiming in, just talking. I'm not being a jerk or I'm not trolling, but then people are like, okay, who are you? Like, what are you? Like, are you black or white? And they're just asking me flat out, like, are you black or white? I was like, oh hell no. Let me go and fade to the bushes like Homer Simpson. This is what we getting down. I was like, all right, y'all
Yeah.
got it.
I was like, yeah, now let me get up out of here, man. We can't even talk about comic books, Marvel movies. I'm still trying. I still got to see Brave New World. I didn't get to go see it. I really want to go see it. My girlfriend got to see it. I didn't get to. But everybody says it's pretty good.
I
I'm
think you'll
like,
like
okay.
it. I think you'll
I,
like
I'm
it.
like, I'm gonna leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah.
I'm just say I'm gonna go in, not trying to review it. I'm gonna just be a customer and say, all right, yeah, all right, you got yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can get because honestly, I think me personally, how I feel about black heroes, it's like okay, I would like a Static Shock sort of situation
Mm-hmm.
where our stories, right? I mean, of course, they have to have like a multiverse sort of, like Captain America character. But again, with Brave New World, it makes sense, right? He was going to be the next Captain America, whether you liked it or not. All right. It was like a if you didn't watch what was it?
Falcon and the
Captain
Winter Soldier. Yeah, you had to watch it.
if
Yeah.
you didn't watch that and Civil War, there was going to be a black Captain America, whether you liked it or not. That was a part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And again, it's in the comics. Like it's not just one, it's not just a white Captain America. There are other Captain Americas in the multiverse in different that have different backstories, right? But I digress. I digress. It's not even about like talking about comic books, movies, or anything else anymore. Anything that's that's considered DEI, right? The DEI, like it's like, all right. Like I said before, I'm gonna say it 10,000 more times until I'm in the grave. All right. If DEI was going tomorrow, if Hollywood was going tomorrow, what do you have that is going to entertain the masses? I'm waiting. And if you don't got nothing, well then enjoy the bread and circus. All
Yeah.
right,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because that's all I got.
Yeah.
A bunch of and you know what? I didn't say this last time, but I'll give Eric July some credit. At least he's putting out something. All right, at least he is putting out something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gas
Mm-hmm.
product, but at least he's putting out something. I can't say that for the amount of people that bitch and complain about Marvel, DC, and all the other things that have been, I guess, uh, drowned in DEI or what they don't like by different directors. And I said again, if you want to be a part of this industry and you want to, have control of or have control of an IP, then put your money where your mouth is,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of people made Steamboat Willie. They made Steamboat Willie stories with the Steamboat Willie, but they put up their own money to do so. Most of these people, the what's his name? The Star Wars guy.
Lucas.
The not no. The Star Wars reviewer, the one
Oh,
with the
the
black
Star Wars theory. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Wars theory. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All that money, all that stuff. I'm like, yo, put your money where your mouth is. You go buy it.
I mean, to be fair to Theory, he makes his own fan fiction movies, and because I've seen him do a couple crowdfunds, and he puts out excellent work. I just, for him, he's just like another Nerdrotic, another Yellow Flash. I'm like, okay, you're more concerned with what everything Disney is doing wrong. So clearly, you're not having the impact on Disney like you guys thought you were, because they're still doubling down. They're still gonna give you the Rey Skywalker movie that you didn't ask for. Kathleen Kennedy still has a job. So all of this yelling, complaining, and whining and bitching and moaning for what? You know?
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's for nothing. But to get into the Eric July thing, now I was watching it at work. I was like, ooh, Eric, ooh. I was going, ooh. I was like, man, they going in on Eric. They're going in. That's why I said, Ice on 3 might not make $1 million. You know what I'm saying?
You think
That's
it
why I
makes
said
it?
it's
You
because
think
of that.
you think it makes 3/4 of a mil? It'll make half a mil.
If that. If
Really?
that. I give it an if that. Because
Okay.
with what happened at Geeks and Gamers, that he should have just not said anything. He should have just not. First off, I mean, what was it? What's his name? Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he shouldn't have never even brought up politics to begin with. But what you're seeing with the politics, what's happening with the politics in video games and all this other stuff, is that it's not just a liberal thing; it's also a conservative thing as well.
Okay.
Even if you want to, like, he says he's not a conservative, but he's a Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, it's like, okay, you're putting your politics into the entertainment,
Right.
right?
Right.
And again, I think the more telling thing when they were having that back and forth was when Eric said, "Okay, if," and I agree with his stance. Like, I agree with that. If Trump were to bring taxes, if bring income taxes down to zero, then he'll drip himself out in MAGA merchandise, to where Geeks and Gamers was just like, listen, you've been with us for years, and you are a part of this culture war, right? You and your brand is tied up with what we're doing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you should have put on the MAGA hat by now, right? That's what he said.
Basically, yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Basically, in translation to what he said, was to bend the knee, bow down, Nigger, with the hard R. Although he did not say it like that, right? That's what he meant. Okay.
Well,
And it's getting more. It's getting more and more. Like, the mask are falling off. And if you can't take it, or if you got money in it, I don't know what else to tell you other than, was the money worth it?
and this is where I think Eric's fatal flaw is not having urban content creators as a backup, as a fallback plan. Like, okay, I don't need y'all. I grifted y'all's money, so y'all want to kick me to the curb because I'm not MAGA. Okay, cool. Me and the bros, we about to go right off into the sunset and do our own thing with or without y'all. Anyway, that would have been the perfect fu to all of this banter. But because they all locked in, they all locked arms under this. Okay, what they're doing is bad. The culture thing is bad. It always backfires. Once you serve no purpose to them, once all the juice has been squeezed out of you, it's okay now. Okay, get back in your corner. Like, get out of here. Don't need you.
Yeah, it's like I don't think Eric really sees, like, every time that he's on either a Nerdrotic panel or a Geeks and Gamers panel, you're just a talking head. That's all you are. Once your numbers go down and nobody's really, talking about you like that, what purpose do you serve? They'll get rid of you. And literally that's what they're doing. That's what pretty much that whole argument was. Like, oh, we've been friends for years. Yeah, for how much longer?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a friendship can end in an instant because of somebody's politics, which is why I don't talk about politics with people.
Definitely, and especially if it's if there's racial overtones to it, you're gonna find out real quick. But you're staying with people, and
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can talk about you can be a black person who talks about DEI all day.
Yeah.
And you be like, and you get all the people be like, yeah, we're gonna unite against DEI, and then it's like, okay, DEI is gone, and guess who's next?
Yeah.
See, it's like it does not translate until it does. It won't affect you until it does. You're gonna F around and you're gonna find out. Okay, like, it's just.
I'm curious as
Oh,
to. I wonder how many more political back and forth will they have moving forward. I think
More.
that should have been like one of those. Okay, you know what? That was a little testy. Maybe we not talk about politics moving forward, or keep it every blue moon. Because if that's the tone of their friendship, and then you insert politics into that, you ain't but a couple words away from being called a nigga. Like, it. That's just how it felt to me. Like,
like, again, like I said, like, I don't even watch EVS like that anymore, because he be having them, like, Like, I'm like, yeah, I get it. They're AI generated like songs, but like, I'm just like, so this is how you think? I'm like EV, so EVS, this is how you think, huh? Yeah, I mean, he's a Jersey cat, so it doesn't surprise me because that's how white boys in Jersey think.
Mhm.
But I'm just like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Go ahead, say it. Because I want you to. You might as well just say it on stream, dude.
Well,
What's what's
and
what's your what's your hold up?
yeah, and I think the Captain America movie was the perfect catalyst to expose, people's true intentions, the true feelings. Like, just say it. You don't want a black Captain America. It offends you, and just say that, and then we can figure out a way to move forward or just go our separate ways after that. But all this, beating around the bush, I hate that. Like, man, just say what it is that you.
Yes, yeah, just say what you need to say.
Yeah.
So you afraid of losing me? I'm not afraid of losing you.
Right. Right. Right.
Like it's like, oh, wait, but I need my black. Nah,
Nah.
nah,
Nah.
cool. Nah,
Nah.
we cool. Now you wanna say what you wanna say. Go right on ahead. You got to say what you wanna say. So now I get to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you know how it affects you, right? Because once you
Well,
can't find the black friend or the black person that lock arms with, that's when it's like, oh, I'm on an island alone, and a bunch of people are gonna figure that one out.
let me ask you, what are your thoughts on black content creators that have an issue with Captain America 4, that have an issue with Sam taking the shield and being the next Cap? Because I'm seeing a couple channels and they're going like extra hard, like this should not have been taken, blah 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 blah. I'm like, I get it, the movie's flawed, it's got issues, but damn, bro, like you don't want to see this either, like.
It's it's outrage when there really does not need to be.
Okay.
Like this is what I'm talking about. Like there is out. Okay, I had my time in the sun where I was kind of like, you know what, all these minority characters, it's like some of it doesn't make sense. But then there's like, okay, then you got Miles Morales, and it makes sense, right? Peter Parker's not always going to be Peter Parker. He needs to, like there's going to be there's a bunch of other Spider-Mans in different Spider-Verses. There's the Amazing Spider-Man. There's what was that? There was that other Spider-Man that from the 90s. Like there's different types of Spider-Man. You had the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You had the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. You have what's his name? The Tom Collins Spider-Man. Now, Miles Morales Spider-Man. What's wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
Like niggas can't have their own, huh?
Well,
Like
okay. Let me ask the Miles Morales. I remember when that character was first introduced, they didn't like the idea of it because they felt he was replacing Peter Parker. So from my vantage point, it seemed like it took a while for people to kind of gravitate to Miles because people were worried that this was the guy brought in to replace Peter. And then until they understood, like, oh no, this is a different alternate, this is his own original homegrown character, not here to replace. And then we have, movies that reiterate that, right? Because then, Into the Spider-Verse, the second one, they brought in Peter. And so everyone's like, oh, okay, so he's not here to replace him. Okay, cool. We can still have our cake and eat it too. I don't
right,
think we had that luxury with Sam Wilson because at some
right.
point Sam Wilson is to replace Cap, and I don't think I think the majority of the demographics does not want their white characters replaced by a black character in no shape, form, or fashion for whatever reason.
Well, I mean, can you also say that it is also the current political climate in which a lot of people feel emboldened to be like, no, we don't want to see a black character. We want to see our people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even I go as far as to say, okay, even the people whom are like you, right? Who you thought were on your side, even backed the Indians. They backed the other people. They backed the HB1s. It's like, come on, man. Like you in the same boat as us urban folk, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're no different. I mean, yeah, the only thing that makes you different from us is that you're white,
Right.
right? That's it. But in the same essence, right? Them people up top thought that culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the breakfast clubs of the breakfast club people, right? What else? Think of any other cool white kid, you know, like that's what they thought about you, right?
Right.
Because for us, okay, they'll point at NWA and DMX, rap culture, and all that other stuff. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But I also say this because if Keep It Techie, I know Keep It Techie's in there. I don't know if he's in the clouds or not. We definitely need to have a talk because I love to have the talk about rap versus rock, right? Now, you have your gangster rap and all that other stuff, and I give you that, right? But then you also have, and I was thinking about it, you also have your hard rock, you have your metal, you have your punk rock. And that was and for those who say that, well, what was that responsible for? That was responsible for a bunch of suicides, excuse me, self-cancellations.
Mhm.
It was responsible for a bunch of drug ODs,
Mhm.
right? I mean, white people are just in the same boat as us. Okay? Y'all just made it a bit more commercial. Okay?
Mhm.
The hippie movement in the 60s, you got Jimi Hendrix, you had Janis Joplin, you had geez, you had Led Zeppelin. How did Janis Joplin die? Overdose. Jimi Hendrix died, overdose. You had all those people dying of overdoses at the age of 27, black, white, no indifferent.
Right.
Okay? So you're no different from us. Okay, we might have, you might be playing guitars, we might have turntables. Okay, but in essence, how many people were in the grave because of the music, lifestyle, and culture?
On both sides. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Good point. Good point. Good point.
But I love that. I still love that. We definitely gotta put a bookmark on that because we definitely gotta have Keep It Techie because I loved it. I would love to chop it up with Keep It Techie about that. That is a topic I love to talk about, man.
For
But
sure.
you got to chat.
Shout out to CEO. Thank you for the super chat, brethren. The problem is that they use black characters to replace the white ones. That's the issue with the Spider-Man 2 video game. I agree. I hate that they can't give us our own origin stories, just our own, just like, hey, this is a brand new character, not aching, not here to replace anything. I guess they feel like black characters don't deserve to have their own stories told separately, away from, without having to be attached to the main for whatever reason. I hate that. I hate that to no end.
Yeah, I mean, again, but like I said, man, in order to change an IP from like what you want, because again, people who have their own platforms can make their own stuff, right?
Mhm.
If you have a YouTube channel, you can make your own stuff, right? If you have a Patreon, you can make your own stuff, right? And if that's the case, you don't really need Marvel or DC because you can make your own stories. You can make your own stuff. Like I said, make your own DIY. Listen, I'm in the DIY scene with music, man. We make our own music. I don't need to play people's covers. What the hell you think this is, man? I don't
Mhm.
need to I don't need to make another rendition of Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. I can make my own Rage Against the Machine music and that do well. And I've
Okay.
done that. So it's like, like think about it like that. Everybody complaining about, Marvel and DC, like it's ever gonna change. The only way that changes is if you become the director, right?
Yeah.
You get into the pockets of the people that fund these things and you change it from the ground up. Yeah, you have power as a consumer, you have power to not go to these things and all that other stuff. But
Mhm.
again, but here's also the other problem with this. People say they're not going to watch it, but they are going to review the trailer. So you're still giving them money. You're still giving them power. You're still putting money in Hollywood's pocket, whether or not you believe that or not. Telling people to not go to it, but you're gonna go to it. You're gonna pay your money so you can review it, and then go on your channel and
Mhm.
then review it and say why it has DEI, why it has this, why it has that.
Mhm.
You're the problem.
I agree. I like Brogu's comment. Steve gave Sam the shield to be Captain America because of his great characteristics. Bucky was mentally compromised and murdered innocent people. Let me see. Wait. But these racist YouTubers want him to be Cap. Really? Perfectly stated. Like, people tend to forget. Like, Bucky was a, was a walking hitman, and in any given moment, the words come out. Yeah. So I understood why he gave him the shield. That was the only logical conclusion at the end of Endgame. So I got it. But people have short memories, and people want to see what they want to see at the time, at the moment, how they feel at the moment. So I just think a lot of people live in the moment too much, per se. And
Right.
I hate this is happening to him, to Anthony Mackie in his movie, and I think a couple years down the road, people will come back and say, you know what, it wasn't that bad. I think it may have a Man of Steel effect, not to the degree that Man of Steel has, but I think 4 or 5 years from now, people are gonna be like, you know what, it wasn't that bad after all. You know.
Yeah. I mean, everybody comes to that sort of opinion, you
Yeah.
know. I came to those sort of opinions. I mean, my girlfriend kind of gave me that new perspective, like just, just watch the movie and see how you like it,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I came to like Miles Morales, and that's not bad. I just think that when I think people get into too much into the culture war of entertainment, like these people like Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers who always talk about DEI and all that, like you're letting them ruin the fun for you, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
You're letting them do that versus you coming to your own conclusion, you know?
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. That's all I got for that. With Eric July versus like Geeks and Gamers, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna see a lot more of this nerd faction divide each other. But I mean, it's a net positive for me. It's a net positive, right?
Hmm.
Because now I would say like this is a great sign, the signal sign to those who may find this video and be like, hey, well, I'm looking for a place to talk about entertainment from guys who actually are or were in it.
Hmm.
Slides from the music industry. I'm in the entertainment industry, so we both talk about this stuff every day, like or every 2 weeks. But finding the group of people that will not kind of be like, you know, this about DEI and woke and all this other stuff. Hollywood is this, Hollywood is that, Hollywood's dead, all that. Okay, got it. Fine, cool, whatever.
Now what?
If you're tired of hearing about that,
Yeah.
hey, come over here, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. What's
That's
next
all I
on
can
our?
say about it. The next, oh man. So I was listening to NPR like a couple weeks ago, and I know and we were supposed to do this like last week, but
Mhm.
it's okay. Um, so I've been listening to like, and there was a bunch of like ABC was talking about it
Okay.
about the black male or the urban male teacher shortage. Now you might be wondering, well, Red sings the blues. Why does this even matter? Oh, it matters a lot because I was looking at the New Jersey education statistics,
Okay.
and it's not looking good. Okay. I think it was what 35% of I think it was sixth graders are still at a math level that is third to second grade.
Now,
That's not good.
how do they interject the shortage of black male teachers? How does that factor in?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so let's see. Well, this comes from Philly. Philadelphia Academies Incorporated in Parkway West High School in Philadelphia are launching a program to develop black male educators. The program, called One Soul, is funded by a $400,000 state grant and is focused on expanding early childhood education and pre-apprenticeship. Funding is part of a 3.9 million investment in pre-apprenticeship opportunities for Pennsylvania high school students. This investment in our expanded city, excuse me, this investment in our expanded early childhood program demonstrates that pre-apprenticeships can be more than just a stepping stone. We are building a future where aspiring Black educators are not only seeing themselves in the classroom, but are empowered to lead, inspire, and shape the next generation of students with confidence and purpose. Nancy A. Walker, the Pennsylvania Secretary of Labor and Industry, said the investment will not only help with the teacher shortage, but also help the economy thrive. And what they're saying here is in Philly that, black men, okay, and this is what they're saying in here, black men, okay, are more like are here's what they're saying. The data from the education shows that students that have at least one black teacher by third grade are 7% more likely to graduate high school and 13% more to enroll in college. Those who had black teachers were 32% more likely to enroll in college. But here's what also they're not saying, right? According to the Department of Education, only 3.8 of teachers are black and less than 2% are black men. And that's been going on for years now, but now it's getting even worse. But also, the black dropout rate has just went up about 2%. So it went from what, 16% to 18. That's bad. Okay? The educational standards regarding and New Jersey, but this is in New Jersey. So for black, black youth, education rate down low, okay? On a black men, black boys are still operating like they operate on a, well, we'll say third, second grade level, and they're just moving up in grade without knowing, basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's bad, you know? So I'm just, it was kind of interesting to me. But what say you?
Well, okay, so we can blame Bush for the No Child Left Behind initiative, right? So they push children through whether they know anything or not. There's not enough money that you could pay um, young urban men to go into teaching. Listen, I'm a coach. You can't. I would never. You understand me? Never. There's nobody respects black men to that degree. Now, don't get me wrong. My kiddos listen to me, but the ones that give me pushback are black boys. And guess what? The ones I don't like dealing with, black boys. I stay away from them. I avoid them. And when I do have interactions with them, it's usually typically bad because of how their upbringing is. And now you want me to have to try to rewire this kid and figure out what his issue. I don't have time for that because I have other kids to worry about as well. Other well-mannered, well-behaved kids that don't have daddy issues or mommy issues or home issues to help pour into. And I know there's no incentive. And at the schools that I work at, it's pretty much all women, from the principals to all the teachers. The only time I see men are when they're the janitors, bro. Like, I shit you not. And I'm the only black coach in my district.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. It's two of us. There's two of us in my district for what we do. It's. I would never. There's no money in that shit. They're dealing with these badass kids, and even the other races of kids are starting to become a little bit more problematic. I'm good. No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
So I'm just looking this up. It says the dropout rate among students ages 16 to 24 is about 5.3 since 2024. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. No.
It's not good.
Hold that L. I'm good. I refuse.
All right, let me see. Okay, found the urban people. Okay, let me see. This is 2024. So the 5-year graduation rate for African American students pursuing bachelor's degree is 42.6, according to the EDI in 2024. African American students account for 14.1% of all dropout rates. African Americans ages 16 to 24 have a status dropout rate of 5.75%, according to the NCES. 35% of African American students have an associate's degree, while 11% of 25 to 29-year-olds have a bachelor's degree. I'm one of them. I'm not going back to school for a master's degree. There's no point. All right, let me see. And then more than one race. The 5-year generation rate for students with one race pursuing bachelor's degree is 57.4. That's going to drop pretty soon. Individuals with one or two more race ages 26 to 24 have a status dropout rate of 4.5. So let's just say we're in the end of days when it comes to education. Let's say that.
Yeah. And now if you want to abolish the Department of Education and just basically leave it to each state that you're in, then that's the move to make. But
I'll have at it.
Yeah, there's not. I don't care if you offer me $150 a year. I wouldn't do it. There's no amount of money because the amount of stress you bring home. Not even just bringing the stress home. No, I take that back because I got 8, 9, 10-year-olds. Some of them can't tie their shoes. They got behavioral issues. They got I got one Mexican girl. She was telling me she got home issues, and I'm just like, oh my God, let me sit you to the side and see what's going on. She's like, oh no, it's no big deal. Like, she just said it so nonchalantly, and I was like, wow. So where's her outlet? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not built for that shit. No.
I'm not. I even knew I was not built for it because my mom used to be a librarian in Newark Public Schools. My dad was a science teacher for elementary schools. He was also a he was also a girls basketball coach. So my parents are first generation teachers.
Okay.
So I know firsthand, I mean, I always asked them, why didn't you come to this district? Why don't you just work in this district?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, for them, it was more or less making a difference in Newark. So if you know anything about Newark, New Jersey, I mean, it's getting it's getting more lily white as the day goes by.
Yeah.
Like gentrification is really starting to rear its ugly head in Newark. All right, South Ward is going to be gone. Okay, you gone. Okay, give it 10 more years. All right, the Italians are coming back. All right, the Italians will claim the land again. I will say that. But um, yeah, I understand like why I guess my parents were on me about getting an education and going to college and stuff like that, even though I disagree with kind of going to college now, considering like student loan debts and all that other stuff. And then on
Mhm.
top of that, the current state of the economy, it's like college is more of a risk than a benefit. But I get what they're going. I get what they're saying, but it's like in current day, even like if we didn't learn from the pandemic, too, is that college even college a college degree cannot save you from getting fired,
Right.
okay? A college and this is what people seem to not understand. A college education cannot save you from getting fired. Can't save you from you ask for a raise and you say, "Well, I have a degree." Cool. Go find somebody else.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like these bosses don't give a fuck no more.
Yeah.
All right, these people with money don't give a fuck. Okay, they're on the they're just like, cool. I need to make money. If you don't want this job, cool. I'll give it to somebody else.
Hmm.
That's what time we on.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't think it's clicked with so many people that it does not matter if you go to school or not. These people these people that have these jobs out here are not are they don't care if you're college educated, and even then, college educated, the college, quote unquote college educated people usually ask for too much and do so little.
Hmm.
Okay, and then it's up to guys like me to have to pick up all the groundwork. I
Hmm.
didn't even listen. My my degree is not even in a like an educated sort of thing. It's a trade, right?
Hmm.
I went to school for technical theater, which is a trade degree.
Okay.
So I went to school for trades. And even if I didn't do that, I would still be doing like electric work or something else like that. Like it translates to other things, right? So when I talk about skills and trades and stuff like that, I don't just say that because it's like, oh, that's a talking point of mine. No, it's because that's the future. That's what's going to,
Hmm.
like, okay, I get it. People want to go to school, and I'm not saying don't go to school or anything else like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I am trying to say is you have to pick a viable career or just a viable skill that will save you one of these days. Because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you see these people that have, I know people with government jobs, desk jobs, whole 9 yards getting axed. Everyone's getting axed.
Yeah.
Does not matter your degree, does not matter if you went to grad school, does not matter how much student loans. These corporations, companies, brick and mortars, they don't give a fuck. Your ass is gone. Okay? Sorry. That's where we at now.
Yeah. One of my favorite little kiddos, she's 7, and we had to have an intervention with her mom because she's not reading at first grade level. I'm like, it's first fucking grade. Breaks my heart.
And it
Yeah.
also starts at home. Like I said, man, like everybody talking to me about like, oh, I can't afford my kids and all that other stuff. Wrap it up. Okay. IUD, condoms, plan B, spermicide. If you can't afford it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Or if you feel the urge, right? You feel the urge and you can't spend the $35 on a or you can't spend $35 on plan B or at least $8-10 on a box of condoms. I don't know what else to tell you. You
Well,
bought yourself into that situation.
the reality is, poor people are gonna have more sex than most. That's the crazy reality, and no one's gonna
Oh,
go
dude,
spend money on condoms and shit.
dude, and especially during times like this, and
Yes. Yes.
including tough times like this,
Yes.
people are fucking.
I mean, think
Okay,
about it.
I don't know. I don't understand how you're an incel out here. People are
It's
fucking.
crazy because during the 1930s depression, birth rates went up.
Oh yeah.
Anytime there's a recession, birth rates go up. It's
Oh
it's
yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah, because everybody's stressed out.
yeah,
Everybody, horny
yeah.
than a
Drug
motherfucker. He's
use,
talking about,
alcohol use, and sex all go up during times of.
oh, of course, man, because everyone needs an escape. That's all I can tell you. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying to get the nut off and all that, man. Like I'm just saying, man. But I mean, hey, hey. Uh, another story for another day.
Right,
All
right,
right,
right. Yeah.
all right. Now we get to the part two. Now, where do I begin? Where do I begin with this? First, you know what? Here's where I start with this. Here's where I start. First off, to the guy in Thailand, to the guy in Thailand.
What? Do
I can't. just. Oh my.
Hey, Abby, listen. I go out of my way to not even, and yet I'll get sent stuff, and he just.
Just I heard I'm driving up to Schenectady, New York, right? I'm like, you know what, let me just hear this nigga. Let me see what no let me this is just white noise because I can't take WBLS. So yeah, you know what? I'll give Kuda a try. This I'm just laughing my ass off going up to Schenectady, New York. I'm just like, this month. Please, if you want to say my name, cool, fine, I give you that. But if we're gonna get the history right, please do it right.
Okay.
Because all right, now I'm scorched earth now. Okay, this whole manosphere thing about how who put who on. When did this even start? Like, okay, so maybe I did watch the like the whole panel of Angry Man, Donovan Sharp, and all the other Fresh and Fit, Modern Life Dating. I know those guys. I know all of them because I talk to them. I have some of their phone numbers. Right now, granted, I came in the Manosphere in 2020 before Kevin Samuels. This was like maybe, I guess, 4 or 5 months before Kevin Samuels blew up. Right,
Okay.
I've talked to Kevin before. Right, I've had a consultation with Kevin before. That was a long time ago. Right, and even so, like, I never asked him about YouTube channels, nothing. I asked him nothing about that. I just asked him like just basic advice. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really take some of it to heart. Some of it I was like, okay, yeah, I can get that. But did it change my life? No, it didn't. Whereas when the pandemic happened, lost my job, girlfriend left, all that other stuff. So I was in a breakup, right? I didn't come into the manosphere because, little Becky, didn't rejected me and I couldn't get a Becky and all that other crap. No, I was still banging white chicks in college. Okay, so that was Red Sink the Blues back then. But when me and a bunch of other guys were watching Manosphere content at the time, because we all were going through breakups and all that other stuff, we decided to make, Red Sings the Blues, right? We decided to, create that. And it became my thing because, I became the leader of the whole thing. I became the whole leader of the podcast. But during the doldrum days when people were watching my channel and I was making self-improvement content, nobody was watching, and I was kind of wondering about that. I was like, okay, so why isn't this happening?
Mm-hmm.
And so Afi Kingdom, right? Afi.
Yeah.
I shout out to Afi. I still talk to him. Good guy. Great guy. My best friend, right? He helped me in this thing. And he knew everybody that I would come across, right? So mediocre tutorials and reviews before he blew up. He knew Anthony Spade. If we all know who Anthony Spade is. He knew everybody before everybody kind of branched off and all the other stuff. And he knew me, and I knew him. And me and Afi were doing shows together, and we were just shooting shit, just nerd stuff, whatever he wanted to talk about at the time. That's when DJ Kuda, right, came to me. I did not go to DJ Kuda. I did not know DJ Kuda. Okay, did not care about DJ Kuda. He said to me, hey, I heard about you and I like the content on your channel. Here's my email address, come over to my channel, all this other stuff. That's what he said to me. Then he gave me the interview, in which I then gave him an interview when I started doing interviews with other people.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay.
Okay. Then what then happened was I was on Bernard Riley's channel. I was on Offie's channel. I was co-hosting with Anthony Spade at the time.
Okay.
And even when I was with Anthony Spade at the time, he told me what time it was. He was the first one that said to me, like, if you do female nature content, right, you get more money that way. Because all of the guys that were doing said content, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was making bread off of it.
Okay.
I refused to do it at the time. I didn't know about any of that at the time, right? And at first, to me, I was like, nah, he's just joking. Like, so I decided to do my content, and as Club Fortune as my witness, this is the early days of Red Sings the Blues.
Okay.
I was doing my own content before I went into Manosphere and the Culture War content, right? So I was doing my own live streams. I was doing my own thing, right? Now, I already knew about the whatchamacallit. I already knew about the Rodecaster Pro. I already knew about the Shure SM7B. I just needed to know how much it cost. That's all I went to CUDA for. Okay. Then he asked me, then I said, you know what? Because out of kindness, out of my own heart, you helped me, so I'm gonna help you.
Okay.
And then not only that, after that interview, I was interviewed by then O'Shea Duke Jackson.
Okay.
Okay. So I was the one who said, CUDA didn't ask me to shout out his name. I shouted out his name because he helped me. And I said that on O'Shea's channel. Okay. Even to so far as O'Shea was this close to cutting out DJ CUDA's name out of that whole interview. And he told me that. Same thing with Bernard Riley. When I was, and this was like the doldrum days. Nobody knew about this, right? Because everybody got tired of that motherfucker. And the thing about it is that Bernard Riley said it, O'Shea Duke Jackson said it, everybody said this shit. So it was not just like me back in the day going against the Manosphere. It was like, hey, yo, you're really gonna like listen to these guys? Like, you're really gonna sit here and be like, yeah, you're gonna listen to these guys? And then when Kevin Samuels, was on World Star, blew up, all this other stuff, right? Then, if you remember, he did a 4-person panel with Bernard Riley. It was Bernard, Kevin, Obsidian, and I would assume it was, and I think, it was 5, but it was Bernard, Kevin, O'Shea Duke Jackson, Obsidian, and then Ty City, right?
Okay.
And he told everybody what time it was.
Right. He said,
Kevin
hey, buy
literally
me out.
said it.
Yeah, he said, buy me out. Give me
He
one
said,
point.
buy him out.
Yeah.
He
buy him out.
said that.
Yeah.
Yes. He said, buy him out.
Yeah.
Nobody, and everybody wanted props from Kevin. But here's where everything went south, right? I was actually supposed to be on Donovan Sharp's channel. I was actually supposed to be added, because I was going to drive to his place in Jersey to do his podcast, right? That got cut because Kevin said no, and then Myron interjected. Even when I interviewed Myron, I interviewed Fresh. Fresh said yes. Myron said no.
Okay.
And I interviewed both of them. I still have Myron's phone number. Like, I still have these niggas' phone numbers, man. It's, man, the stuff I can tell you. There was already blackballing going on, because if you weren't making female nature content, if they knew that you were a, like a content creator that they couldn't fuck with, that's what they did. So they fucked up their own bag. They fucked up their own brand. I wasn't the one that fucked it up for them, right? I was trying to help other people. I was actually trying to do it, And again, and this is where CUDA seems to forget it's like, yo, if you're gonna tell the story, tell it right.
I swear, man, that's the
To
worst.
me,
Yeah.
I did not come to you. You said you made me. Then on top of that, he's saying that, oh, I gave you your girlfriend. Nigga, she was on your channel just being a fan. She became my girlfriend because she supported me. And that's it. She supported me. We had some talks, and it was that. It had nothing else to do with anything else. That's it. This whole I made you made me, nigga, no. And then on top of that, you know, with everybody else, then I saw the third shifts. The third shifts were getting crazy, so I didn't want to be there anymore because it was just too much craziness. That was number one. Then number two, what else was happening was, Angry Man was coming in to steal shit. Surism came and stole shit. There were so many people stealing shit.
They ransacked. They pillaged. They came in like Vikings. Yeah.
They pillaged DJ Kuda's channel.
Yeah.
They did that. I would never let that. I would never have a panel the first on my channel, which Kuda then said, "Yeah, you should do a panel on your channel." No, it was very. If you remember them, they were very controlled. Now, DJ Kuda likes to say I was struggle streaming, to which I can say, wrong again. Now, I might have had 20, 30, 40 people sometimes, right? But there were streams that I had panels with Poor Man before he blew up, or he was on the come up, and I was on his channel when he was on the come up. I still talk to Poor Man to this day. The Lead Attorney, Dr. Thunder. I've had everybody on my channel. I've had controlled panels. I didn't have random ass panels.
Mm-hmm.
They were controlled, they were scheduled, they were professional. I've had 100, 200, 300 people watching me on a live stream many a different times. I didn't need to always do those types of numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're gonna tell the story, tell it right. I was struggle streaming from my room, but I was making, dude, I had so many classic streams I deleted, man. Classic streams.
Oh, you deleted them joints?
I didn't care. I stopped caring. It means nothing to me now.
Shoot.
It means nothing to me now. It means nothing. None of it matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? I sat with my whole catalog. And actually that's not true. I probably do have a lot of these streams on a disc that I can't find it.
Okay.
And it was, and to me, I said, you know what? None of this matters to me anymore. And I can move past all of this. I can. Like there are so many, you know how many bands I've been with that broke up?
Mm-hmm.
What's Red Sings the Blues to me now? Nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I love how your detractors never mention your pivot with your new channel. They always go back. They always revert to the old. I'm like, they doesn't even do that. Like he killed that channel. Why we keep bringing back? Look what he's doing now. What are you doing now compared to what he's doing now? Like they always leave that. That's the biggest part. I'm like, what the fuck?
He's struggle streaming. He's struggle streaming. Look at his room. Look at it now. Look at it now.
You don't even stream anymore. So I don't
even stream, and I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't even have to do this. Nigga, people still doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost going on to 11-hour streams, not even making almost 100 views.
Listen, to me, unless you're trying to do a marathon just because to say you did it, you should not be regularly doing 8, 9, 10-hour streams unless you got a contract by Kick, Twitch, or Rumble to do so. If you're just doing this shit on YouTube, you are so backwards. And then like the whole pivot thing, and I tell people all the time, and I'm my own witness. If you're gonna scrub a channel and pivot, you're gonna have to drop a lot of content. I mean, delete a whole bunch of shit and reset your whole channel's algorithm. Changing your channel name is not a rebrand. It's not a pivot.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, that channel is still identified as a problematic. You're gonna have to delete stuff and offload content elsewhere. I've done that 3 times so far, and that's the only way to really do it. So when I hear this term rebranding and pivot, like you're not even Okay, you still got old content up there?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Club Fortune, bring that shit up. And the
Oh,
thing read is, you're one of the few YouTubers that organically gained a 5-figure audience twice.
twice. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
With one with collaborations and one without. And one without. They leave this shit out. One without.
I-
I only did one collaboration on my new channel.
yeah. Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
And that has 135,000 views.
Well, it's funny because we live in a "what have you done for me lately" and "what are you doing now." You're the perfect example of what we're doing now. And then always the only critique of you is what you did back then. Like what? Homeboy did a 3-hour stream about your old channel. Nigga, talk about the new channel he's doing now. Like that kills me. Kills me.
I'm like,
It's not.
oh my god, you can't. I was like, you can't make this shit up. I
Kills
was like, you
me,
can't
bro.
make it up. Oh man, I'm about to go Yeezy right now, man. How Sway?
Don't do it.
How Sway? How Sly? How? Shit.
That kills me, man. Like no.
It doesn't even kill me. It annoys me to death.
Yeah.
It annoys me to death. Because if you're gonna say all of this stuff, do it right. I was the one that booked all the interviews. I was the one taking rejections from everybody. I had Anthony Spade on my channel. He didn't want to go on anybody else's channel. He came on my fucking channel. CGA didn't want to come on anybody's channel. He did that with mine, and it was all because of Ramil and Ty City. I've had culture war people on. I've had nerd people on. I've had pastors. I've had people in which they could not get. I was the one doing all of it.
Right.
And yet here we are, still talking about me 2 years before, 2 years like 2 years later, I'm not doing that content no more. But you want to know something? You know what burns them every day? You know what burns that nigga every day? Is that when I had a video about Tay Tay Baby, quote unquote, that video got 75,000 views.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I got to interview her because she came to me about the video. She didn't tell me to take it down. She told me to give her credit. And I said, you know what? I'll do you one more. I'll give you an interview. I interviewed the bitch. Kuda couldn't get to her. Kuda couldn't ask her for an interview. I did that. So if we want to do this thing, do it right. If you want to say my name, say my name.
Yeah.
But no one's around you. Say it. But say it right. Do it right.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna talk about real femme sapien. And then I saw you niggas trying to cozy up to her.
I'm about to say after you had her on, then everyone's like flocking to her for interviews and stuff. Like, okay, so that's a good thing, right?
Oh, so now you want that? Because after I said nothing after that. I said, okay, I'm gonna watch everybody try to get an interview with her.
Yeah.
Everybody. Big J's loser ass got one. And I said, you really did that, huh? This is where you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you got fucking what's his name? Sex offender Tito making multiple videos about me.
Yeah.
I never responded to one of them. I shouldn't have that much power in a 40 and a close to damn near 50-year-old's head.
I agree.
Like if I got this much power over you, I'd hate to come to Chicago. Okay, I'm staying my ass in Wrigleyville. Okay, sorry, with the white people.
Yes,
with the white
yes,
people.
Safe side.
North side. Yes, north side. Yes, I will stay on the white side of. I will stay on the white.
Yeah, up there.
You joking? You gotta be playing with me right now, Minister Jap. Shout out to Minister Jap. The reason why I didn't have Minister Jap on my channel was because I interviewed Duke the Don.
Okay.
And then Duke the Don was making well, he was on his like Manosphere, kick people while they're down sort of thing. And then that got to me, right? I get a call when I'm coming back from Brooklyn. I'm coming back from work. I get a call from Minister Jap talking about, oh, you interviewed Duke the Don and he's making videos about you. I didn't know nothing about that. I knew nothing about that. because I never said I didn't care. I
Hmm.
just didn't know that he was making videos about him, and he thought that I was making videos about him too. So that's why I did collaborate with Minister Jab a long time ago, but I also paid for that. I also paid for the solo TV84 interview,
Okay.
right? He they came to me because I paid them. Okay, I was on their channel because I invested in my channel. I invested in that. So if we want to say Manosphere revisionist history, we're gonna do this one right. Okay. I was on Minister Jab's channel. I was on Solo TV 84, Ike Ogiaman, Soul Provider before he dropped off. I was on Poor Man's podcast. I was on I did it. But I can sit here today and say I did what most Manosphere niggas couldn't. Okay, nobody made me. Listen, nobody was there to help me. I helped myself and I invested in myself, and look where I am now. You got niggas 2 years later still talking about me.
Well, I don't understand this whole infatuation of making somebody. Like, I put you on, I made you. Like, how do you do that? Because the market still has to like you and want to see you
Right.
outside of the person who made you. Like, that's the dumbest argument ever. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, like the whole, I don't even know how this even started. I guess it started with the panel with Donovan Sharp, Angry Man, and Fresh and Fit.
When
If that,
Myron said that Kevin put nobody on, which is a fact.
yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
I agree. Even though I could go troll it. I have Myron's phone number. I could go troll his ass right now. I just don't feel like it. Right. But with that being said, Kuda, do you have Myron's phone number? Do you have Walter's phone number? Because I don't think you do. But anyway, all this thing about putting somebody on, it's like, well, that's what people in hip hop always said and always did.
Hmm.
I put him on, I put him on, I put him on. So you owe me. All this, I made you, I put you on. So you owe me. So I owe you what? I owe people what?
Right. Like, how do you quantify that? What is that? Can you put, how's that tangible? Can you put that in the monetary value? You know what I'm saying? Can you make that into a resource? Like, what does that even look and sound like?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell do you talk? What are you talking about? Because if that was the case, so then people like Ruin Leon, people like Taekwondo, people like Minister Jap, Solo TV, they could have said the same thing about me.
Yeah.
They didn't. Donovan Sharp could have said the same thing. He didn't. What's his name? Man, there were so many dating coaches. Locario. I interviewed Kuda's Hero, and that still burns him to this day. It still burns him to this day that I've interviewed one-on-one ARC, and I still have his script about what he wanted me to say to the people.
Wait.
I was gonna have an organic Joe Rogan talk,
Wait,
and again,
you mean this ARC?
yeah,
That ARC.
yeah, that ARC, yeah, yeah. It's just like, yes, that ARC, the same ARC that literally was screaming and crying about AMS stealing the shit. Yes, that ARC. Yes. All right. So, and I was close to mediocre tutorials and reviews. Kevin ruined that. He said not to do it, and mediocre tutorials fell in line with it. He even was like, look, my hands are tied. I can't go on your channel. I said, all right.
Really?
Yeah, of course. People are going to say that never happened, but it did.
Did you ever find out why?
Like I said, man, people at the time, it didn't matter how professional I was or how I wanted to, operate with my podcast. There were guys that just said no. Like they wanted young men to bend the knee to them.
Mm-hmm.
I was not like that. I wasn't bending the knee to anybody. Okay. I was not gonna play this go along, get along. I wasn't gonna do it.
Right.
If we're gonna do this thing, and I said, if I wanted to talk to young men about, actual young male issues, excuse me, I would do it on my channel and my channel alone. They didn't like that. So if we're gonna if we're gonna say this thing, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna really hash out, all the stuff that has been said behind closed doors with a lot of people. You know, with lead attorney, he was about, when I got him on my channel before, everybody shared out that stream. It was a Kevin Samuel stream when he hit 1 million subs, and we were talking about this. You know, we were talking about, what black men should be doing and what black men can be doing. And I had the panel of, and again, this panel was because I had callers, and I think Club Fortune was there. I think Club Fortune did call into that, and there was about 100 to almost 200 people watching it. The other streams that ranged from 100 to 200 people were the Eric July debates, the Eric July versus the Amazing Lucas, the Tim Pool. I mean, that was the whole culture war stuff. But in essence, I've had those streams with a bunch of people that could have put me on, but at the time were tongue tied. And again, with Poor Man, if you remember clearly, Poor Man blew up because he was doing a lot of Kevin Samuels reviews,
right.
and his channel got struck down.
That's right.
And then when he didn't bend the knee, Kevin had a problem with that. Because Kevin was saying to Poor Man, give him money. And Poor Man wasn't having it. He said no. He said we should be helping each other out. And Kevin said, fuck that. And I know I should be confidential about all the stuff that did happen behind the scenes, but Kevin ain't here no more. So it's all out in the open now.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you create havoc and friction and you split people up and you put people against each other, you triangulate, yeah, eventually people are going to be like, he did this to me too. Me too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Man, look, listen, y'all listen. DJ Kuda has a good versus me, like nigga, you don't have the story. Listen, you are a student. I am the fucking I'm the fucking worker. All right. I'm the one with the story to tell. I'm the legendary Red Sings the Blues. Okay. Nobody knows DJ Kuda's name. They know me. They know me. Yeah, let's go there. No. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's bring that back. Let's bring that back real quick. Nobody knows DJ Kuda. Everybody knows Red Sings the Blues.
Ouch.
So what does that say about me, huh? So now I'm tired of being humble. What does that say about me? Now I'm gonna puff out my chest like that. What do you got to say now, huh? Because I never turned on this nigga. I didn't turn on him. I was there for him as a friend. I was the one that said, hey man, look, you don't need to be doing this no more, right? You don't need to be DJ Kuda. You could be anybody who you want to be. Everybody in the Manosphere kicked him out, called him names, all this other stuff. They never let you play in any other reindeer games. All right, this nigga would get ran out of panels, arguing like a bitch with everybody on Bernard Riley.
And this is why you rarely see him on panels now with the guys over there. For everybody he has a complaint against, and all the grifting he claims is going on, he never jumps on these people's panels to argue the fact or set the record straight. So I find that kind of odd.
Because everybody would run him off.
Yeah.
He put this, R. Chapman, he put it on himself. And then on top of that, if you want to tell even more of the truth, right, with the whole Sexy Red thing versus DJ Kuda, she came on I didn't even know where she came from. But she came out of left field like, hey, I like the DJ Kuda third shift brand. She gave you money to do all the, give them the game. You gave her the game, she created a channel. What else did you expect?
Okay.
So if you want to do this Manosphere, who put who on and all this other bullshit, which again I find hilarious, right? Like we're really having these conversations again.
Well,
again.
I don't like the term put on. I would rather say put in front of a bigger audience, put in front of a different audience, shed some light, but to put somebody on, because after the Rumbles and after O'Shea went to Celebrity Junk, everybody had to kind of figure it out. Like, okay, so now there's no Rumbles for, how else do we differentiate ourselves amongst from each other, and how do we continue to grow our audience and find new audience, man? Like, that's not, what part of putting on is that? So now when you take away the platform, the talent still has to figure out, okay, how do I keep this going for myself?
Right.
Now? Like,
right. And I did that. I did that. When the platform, when Red Sings the Blues got demonetized, I didn't cry about it. You don't hear me on 9-hour panels talking about, I don't get support. Nobody respects me. Nobody support. I'm dropping gems every day, man.
God.
I'm dropping gems every day, man. Or you don't hear me, hey man, man, I'm the founder of this space, and you don't send me no cash apps, man. Look, man, this $2, man, fuck this $2, man. I'm angry, man.
The worst thing I would
want, and don't get me started on sir-ism. That fucking flamboyant piece of no. Let me stop.
Okay.
Let me stop. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I mean, I'm just letting you cook. Go ahead, man. I'm out of this one.
Man, look, listen, man. We now I'm on a cooking spree, because now people want to. They don't want to say the full truth. That's why. This is why this whole revisionist history is hilarious to me. It's hilarious to me because they're not going to tell the damn truth. They're not really going to tell it like it is. They're just going to give you bits and pieces and say, oh, I was here for this, and oh, I was here for that. Nobody gave a shit about your name. You didn't make your name well known. I made mine well known. And whether or not you like me or not, hold up a second. And whether or not you like me or not, I'm still in people's mouths.
You know what's weird? So I left in 2018, and I don't remember him at all. Like, even when we left Roast, so we would go to O'Shea's, Prophet of Thought series, or BGS. So you were either circling one of those three platforms. And after 2018, after I left or removed myself, and I was still go to Teapots. I went to BGS one time. I was like, I'm good. It's too much of a Jim Jones.
I was invited on BGS. I didn't go.
Okay. I don't remember Kuda, man. One time I think he was on Teapot talking about equipment. That was like a one time. I remember this though. I remember people kind of giving him pushback. I said maybe his tone is a bit off-putting. I said maybe if he came across as less of a know-it-all and changed his tone and how he presented, how he wanted people to, gravitate towards wanting to upgrade their equipment, because he came off so condescending and such a snarky elitist. I'm like, that's rubbing people the wrong. That's why people didn't really take to what he was saying, because he came off as a know-it-all. And I'm like, you're rubbing people the wrong way, especially for people that don't.
But see, you know what was funny about that, right? People were asking me about microphones. Now, I'm a sound guy, right? You don't need, like, all the stuff that he has versus what I got. I've been using the same equipment since Red Sings the Blues.
Yeah.
Have not changed it once. The only thing that changed, aesthetic. That's it. Everything else, 2-3 years old, 4 years old, probably, right? Mm-hmm. Now, everybody who was coming up asked me about microphones because they didn't want to ask Kuda, right? They were just like, hey, for free, what type of microphone should I get? And I said, here's what you need. The MV7, you can plug it up to your laptop, done. And guess what? People got the microphone, or they got an exact replica of it, right? Because they weren't going to Kuda, they were going to me.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I was talking about. Not this whole, well, here's what you need, and then here's what you need, and then here's what you need, and if you don't get this, you're not going to have good man, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I just wish he had lessened his tone. Because I forget whose stream I caught him on, and they were going back at him, and I'm like, I see why, because it's his tone. You know, if this is the first time people are seeing you, and all you can do is berate them over the sound quality of whatever, and it's like, okay, no wonder your message was not received, and it's still not received. You know,
And it never
so
will.
yeah,
And you want the worst part about it? It never will.
yeah,
Nobody remembers. Nobody remembers DJ Kudo outside of him and Fantastic.
yeah.
That's it.
That's the only thing I remember him from is him and Back and Forth were fantastic, and
And even to this day, they still go at it
yeah,
for
yeah,
whatever reason.
yeah, yeah,
And that's why I said to myself, I'm letting all this shit go. Every stream that I had, I'm letting go. The only thing I don't keep up, the only thing I still keep up are the interviews because I want people to still burn for that.
right.
All the people that they wish they could touch, I touched them. Pause.
And that's what I would tell him. I said, you know, if you're going to rebrand your YouTube channel, you're going to have to scrub everything. And I mean, delete every live, offload everything onto other sites, start brand new, because changing the title is not going to cut it. Your channel is still marked. It's still got the scarlet letter on it in the algorithm. And yeah, a change in the title is not going to, it's not a rebrand. That's not. You're going to scrub all them shits. Because nobody's going back for 4 or 5 years to see what you said. No one's doing that. You know.
Yeah, of course. And even when you're branded with the scarlet letter, even if you do get your monetization back, even if I did get monetization back on Red Sing the Blues, it doesn't. I was doing like thousands of views a day versus like few hundreds. Like they literally put the scarlet letter on my channel.
Yeah.
So what else was I gonna do?
Yeah, you gotta delete all that shit, and
You gotta delete all of it, and then it just became it just became a wasteful investment for me to do.
Yeah.
So I just decided, you know what? Let me just do something I want to do. And even with my girlfriend, even with her, and it became like I have a girlfriend now. So what kind of topics can I talk about now that help both of us out and helps us have a stream of income?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started Stagehands In. It was a rough few months, but I got all that shit back and more. And I thank God every day that it happened.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about that because then they have to look at their own whack ass channels, broken dead ass channels, and then think to them, and they still come to. I had a conversation with him, maybe almost a year back on Ty City's panel, and him talking about YouTube and being educated on YouTube. Then if that's the case, why the hell am I doing I'm like, the math ain't mathing. How am I doing more numbers than you? How do I know more than you? The guy that's been on since 2004.
Yeah. And one thing I've learned about this YouTube thing, I stopped blaming YouTube for when they strike me, demonetize me, age restrict. I don't even. I say, you know what? That's my bad. I was lacking. I was doing too much. Let me go ahead and scrub. Do what I gotta do. Get rid of it to stay in compliance. So you know, when he goes on that rant saying they, you know, I think something about his birthday, they struck him and demonetized him. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
says every
First
YouTuber that gets.
Well, first things first, you weren't making $100.
You didn't even clear.
You didn't reach thresholds.
Yeah.
YouTube is a business. YouTube is a business. Let's stop this right here. YouTube is a business. You're not making the money. Then what's the point of monetizing you?
Not an extra life mushroom. That's funny. But I'm over it. Listen, I wish him nothing but, and I wish him well. But the rate he's going, he's so full of himself, and he just won't humble himself to listen to anybody. So, and that's why he's where he's at now.
That's why not even just him, it's everybody. Because there's no reviving this Manosphere thing. That panel was just nothing but fluff. Okay. Donovan still does not like O'Shea Duke Jackson, and he sure as hell does not like Angry Man. What was his name? Modern Life Dating. He's a fucking jagoff. I know John from Modern Life Dating. He's a fucking jagoff. Myron Malta.
He was the guy. Okay, I remember his channel now. The little panels he would do. He would sit in the middle and the women on this. Okay, I see what you're saying. I remember. Okay.
Yeah. What was his name? I don't know the other guys. Rollo Tomasi. I've read his books. I have The Rational Male. I even reviewed The Rational Male. who's really no, I've read all 3 books. Did it help me out? Not as much. I read the game. I read the game by Neil Strauss. I reviewed it on my channel. It just told me everything that I need to know about how dating sucks now.
Mhm.
That's it. Didn't tell me anything else other than nothing. Like that's what these guys don't seem to understand. This information about about Keisha, Becky, or any other Ling Ling, I don't know, Maria, it's worthless. In today's market, it's worthless
Yeah.
because if you're paying attention to what people are dealing with now, unemployment, all this other stuff. Yeah, what me and Sly said about sex going up. I mean, for those who can afford it or those who can get it.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
For those who can't, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Like I don't know how this whole Manosphere thing is gonna help you out because I mean, did it help me out? Did I benefit from the Manosphere in some sort of way? Yeah, I guess you can say that. But do I benefit from it now? No.
Yeah.
And although dude from Thailand will say, "Well, I got I got your channel to what it is. I got you a girlfriend, and I got you this, and I got you that, and I put you on."
Who talks
Say that
like
one more time. Say that one more time.
That's crazy.
Just cry a bit louder.
Yeah. Cry. Yeah. Yeah.
Cry a bit louder for me. Okay? Because now, if we want to go back to Manosphere revisionist history, yeah, come on, knock on the door. Okay, we want to have this conversation again. I'll entertain it.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertaining from the guys that me and Sly are veterans. So,
yeah. You got any last words?
And look, 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
See ya.
All right, bro.
2 weeks. I got shit to do, man. And everybody, you know what? Maybe that's my last word. If you don't got shit to do, that's your problem.
That being said, my man. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So I'm waiting on her to bring me some food. I may do a part 2 tonight, like a late stream. So, is that her? Oh yeah, my food's here. All right, give me an hour and a half. I'm coming back with part 2 as to why Kevin didn't like you all. Peace.